Brought to you by
Makerere Institute for Social Development, a certified institution for higher learning, invites applicants for certificates and diploma courses. MISD or Makerere Institute for Social Development, facilitating your career.
A very good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here at UBC TV. It is the second day of July 2026 and you are watching Lunchtime News. My name is Jane Nyuramcha, and now for story this afternoon. President Yoweri Museveni has reaffirmed government's commitment to Uganda's preparation for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, pledging full funding, accelerated infrastructure development, and stronger regional cooperation to ensure the tournament is successfully hosted. While meeting the AFCON League Organizing Committee at State House, Entebbe, the President also endorsed a proposal for a single East African AFCON visa, allowing fans, teams, officials and tourists to move freely between Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania during the tournament. Museveni directed that discussions begin with Kenya and Tanzania to operationalize the common visa. The meeting also reviewed progress on key infrastructure projects ahead of CAF's next inspection on August 31st. Prime Minister Robin Nabanja said government agencies are working against strict CAF deadlines, with major projects expected to be completed by December 31st this year. Finance Minister Henry Musasizi assured the President that funding for approved AFCON projects was already being provided for in the current financial year, while Works Minister Fred Byamukama pledged that road construction would be completed on schedule. Moving on to Judiciary, judicial officers have been urged to begin planning for retirement long before they leave active service to ensure a smooth and productive transition into the next phase of life. Speakers said retirement planning should be a continuous process throughout one's career rather than an exercise undertaken at the end of employment. They noted that early preparation helps retirees manage their finances, health, and personal goals more effectively. The call was made during a pre-retirement roundtable training for judicial officers approaching retirement. The training, organized by the Judiciary Training Institute, was held at the Institute's premises in Nakawa under the theme, Transitioning with Purpose in a Digital Era.
The transition brought about by retirement or impending retirement may present complex adjustments relating to identity, financial security, social relevance, and personal fulfillment. When we serve with dignity, we deserve to prepare to cross the service threshold with the same dignity. So this training, the transition, if not consciously prepared for, can be very, very, very disorienting. And yet, truthfully, we are not less worthy, less knowledgeable, less wise. To the contrary, we may actually be, not maybe, we should be wiser. Today, you have been invited to think about who you are when the road comes up, as a mentor, community leader, as a mediator, as a family elder, as a citizen whose wisdom the nation still wants. These are not embarrassing conversations, and therefore they should not embarrass you. They are responsible ones, and I commend JTI again for placing them on the agenda. Equally important, and I say this as someone mindful of the physical toll that years of judicial service can exact, is a matter of health.
So these are celebrations, my Lord, that we should be able to appreciate God for. And so it is important that we celebrate the achievements that their worships have registered. So part of the reason we are here today is to appreciate their worships for the commitment that they have put in.
First of all, when you retire,
you reduce your expenditure by over 50%. That is standard. Don't live a life you cannot afford. Even if you go with a good pension, that pension will not last. It's not as much as when you're in office. Because in office you have other benefits. When you retire, they are not there. They stop being in place. The way you behave and treat yourself is very important in life. It is a transition. If you don't look at yourself as a very big man, you are big now, tomorrow you are not. So be simple in your attitude and in your life.
The State House Land Division has intervened in the land wrangle on the estate of the late Matutu in Nakasozi, Budo, and threatened to close a school situated on the contested piece of land. The State House legal team, represented by Nathan Boji, has committed to engage the Ministry of Education on matter of students' safety at Budo Hill Primary School, Matutu, and if it warrants closure, there will be no hesitation until matters of Matutu estates are resolved. We have a report.
The family dispute over the estate of the late Moses Matutu escalated, prompting interventions by the Office of the President's Land Division over concerns about a school operating on the contested land in Nakaso's Budo, Wakeso district.
Having issues with our hair. He's called Mr. Frederick Abanda Binayomba. We have a feeling that he has been running our dad's estate in not the right ways. And as of now, we have an issue with a school that our dad left behind.
The wrangle is between some family members and the estate's heir, Frederick Kabanda, whom relatives accuse of managing the late's estate without consulting other beneficiaries.
We as the siblings, we've never gotten a share of the money that was paid to him. And we have grievances in a way that we expect the money that was paid to him to be shared upon all the shareholders, which we never received up to now. We just hear rumors here and there that he received money. That's why we've always been having grievances and having these fights with him.
Family members sought redress from the Office of the President, seeking for the cancellation of the lease they allege was granted by Kabanda to a private developer illegally.
But we hear that it was leased to a one Mr. Richard Sembatia for almost 52 years. And we as the right beneficiaries, we haven't received any coin. And we hear that all the money was paid. Breaking point came with the issue of this school. So what we want is the lease agreement and whatever that was done without our consent to be cancelled out.
The Office of the President has convened the family meeting to ascertain circumstances for the contestation.
We agreed a number of issues, including the local leaders, to ensure that they bring Kabanda to State House. So that I try to understand his interests. They were saying that this property should benefit all his children, including Mr. Kabanda. But however, Mr. Kabanda deviated from the terms of the will.
The legal team from the Office of the President threatened to engage the Education Ministry to close a school located on the contested piece of land to avoid future uncertainties.
Remaining with about 1 month, 1.5. I'm very ready, I'm very set to engage with the Ministry of Education, especially the District Education Office about this issue. If need be, this school, I think this will be the last term until the matters are settled. Because we want these kids safe. So therefore, about the safety of the kids, don't get worried. I'm going to engage all the stakeholders.
The matter has been adjourned for further engagement since the accused party absconded the meeting. Abdunasili Lubwama for UBC.
Thank you so much, Nasil, for that wonderful report. Now, moving on, the first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Affairs, Rebecca Kadaga, has expressed a need to start auditing the leaders in countries in the East African community to give their accountability on how far they've gone with implementing what is in the treaty. Officiating at the Elia Kategaya Memorial Lecture in Kampala, Kadaga said she is struggling with head of states to comply with the Common Market and Custom Union's protocols.
The Minister of East African Community Affairs has held a memorial lecture in honor of the late Elia Kategaya, Uganda's first Minister for East African Community Affairs, celebrating his contribution to regional integration and the growth of the East African Legislative Assembly.
Together, the people of East Africa could achieve far more than any other one nation could achieve alone. It is my sincere hope that this vision will continue to inspire leaders and our citizens.
The late Kategaya is remembered to have coordinated the East African Community Integration Agenda to ensure that Ugandans participate and benefit from it.
Uganda, he was highly respected. First of all, he could not fight for a small job. We could not push. We come and say, let's fight for this. So he said, I'm not going to fight for the job. Let's fight for the community. Let's fight for integration. Let's fight for oneness. Let's fight for the common market rather than fighting for one job.
The Minister for East African Community Affairs, Rebecca Kadaga, pledged to build on Kategaya's legacy by advancing the East African integration agenda to achieve his dream, the East African community.
This federation, as far back as 1963, so we are still building on his work. And I hope that one of these days we shall get where he wanted us to be.
Former members of the East African Legislative Assembly noted that the East African community has made significant progress through customs union and the common market, with efforts now focused on achieving the monetary union. They remember Kategaya for his unwavering commitment to strengthening EALA, describing it as a key institution in driving the East African integration agenda.
He believed in a united East African community and was driven by conviction. He was someone driven by conviction. He believed in it, and he believed it could be done and it could be achieved in our lifetime. So the challenge that we do have, those that he left behind, is to carry forward those values that he cherished in the name of the East African integration. EALA,
constitutionalism, democracy, and good governance. So when we started negotiating that protocol, that is when I started seeing problems. Because even us, Uganda, who wanted to fast-track the political federation, we started backtracking.
During the memorial, members of the East African Legislative Assembly expressed the need to match the activities and institutions of East African community to the funding.
If we are serious, because now when you look at it, it is the donor community or the development partners that are running that community. Even with the lowered contribution requirements, 50% of the aid don't contribute.
As the changes it's going to do, which are different from that of Kenya. Kenya has its own, Rwanda has its own, Burundi has its own. So you see, those are the things that really pull apart the customs union.
EALA member Gerald Siranda says, apart from funding, the biggest challenge is for head of partner states refusing to assent to laws passed in the assembly.
Have done enabling laws, but you have engagement with the council, even on their own bills. We passed the laws, and countries refuse to assent.
I think we need to start really auditing our leaders. Yes. I think we should be able to, why do you part of the committee don't assent to bills? And don't even give reasons. the bills come to you, you don't accept and you keep quiet.
Former Makerere University Chancellor Professor Mondoka Gonyera attributes the challenges in the East African community to not having quality leaders who are not knowledgeable. I'm Nafka Farida in Kampala.
Thank you, Nafka Farida, for that report. Now, moving on, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has promoted 11 senior officers of Uganda Prisons Service to higher ranks under Article 172(1) of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. 5 officers have been elevated to the rank of Senior Commissioner of Prisons, while 6 have been promoted to the rank of Commissioner of Prisons. According to the Uganda Prison Service spokesperson, Senior Commissioner of Prisons Frank Baine, the promotions take immediate effect.
His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Retired Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, under Article 172, Section 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, Section 10C of the Prisons Act of 2006, and on the advice of the Prisons Authority, has appointed a total of 11 officers to the rank of Commissioner and Senior Commissioner. Those appointed to the rank of Senior Commissioner are Ms. Ariona Atkunda, Ms. Geraldine Presenajuma, Mr. Rgonda Stephen, Mr. James Emotu, and Mr. Sentaro Moses. Those appointed to the rank of Commissioner of Prisons are Godwin George Lenga, Fred Kajubi Kayongo, James Kokas Okirol, Francis Xavier Erubu, Mrs. Mary Centenary, and Mrs. Christine Peace Babiri. And the appointment takes immediate effect.
And now moving on to the State Minister of State for Local Government, Justin Namere, has called for local leaders to put service delivery ahead of politics. She made the remarks while closing a 3-day induction training for leaders of Machinde Sabagabo municipality in Wakiso district. Susan Nawonga reports.
Under Uganda's Local Government Act Cap 243, local leaders are mandated to promote democratic governance, ensure transparency and accountability, deliver quality services, and involve citizens in decision-making. The 3-day induction training for leaders of Machinde Sabagabo municipality ended with a strong appeal for unity, accountability, and effective leadership.
We should be part of the people to mentor the leadership, but not to destroy.
While closing the training, the Minister of State for Local Government, Justin Namere, said political wrangles among leaders continue to slow service delivery and frustrate the implementation of government programs.
Demobilize Ugandans who malign government programs. Yet for them, they are enjoying government benefits. You are an MP, you are receiving all the money from government, you are receiving all the benefits, all the gratuity, but you are busy hoodwinking the common man, that for them they should not get their fair share at their level. Let the common people, let our wananchi get their share of the national cake.
The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Local Government, Ben Kumumanya, questioned leaders against selling government jobs, saying recruitment must be based on merit and fairness. The Under Secretary in the Bala Capital City Authority and Metropolitan Affairs, Monica Adenecho, said government has developed a 5-year master plan to address challenges affecting communities in the Greater Kampala metropolitan area.
One of the flagship projects is the project where you are seeing us work on the roads, work on drainages, creating workspaces, because proper analysis was done. And this analysis brought out the problems facing Greater Kampala
Makinde Sabagawa Municipality Member of Parliament David Isirukenya urged leaders to avoid backdoor deals and instead work together to improve the welfare of their communities.
Let us avoid backdoor deals. Let us not slumber.
Wakiso District Chairperson Ingenia Ianchiune called for respect and harmony among leaders, regardless of political affiliation, saying better cooperation will improve service delivery.
Somebody does not just come. It needs a number of ingredients. One, respect for one another.
With the induction now concluded, the challenge shifts from the classroom to the communities, where residents expect leaders to put the knowledge gained into action through accountable leadership, stronger oversight of government programs, and improved service delivery. Susanna Mugude for UBC News.
Stakeholders in Uganda's agricultural sector have been urged to promote nutrition-sensitive agriculture and strengthen food safety to improve household nutrition and enhance food security. Experts say increasing food production alone is not enough unless the food is consumed safe and rich in essential nutrients. We have a report.
The appeal was made during a stakeholders' engagement on nutrition-sensitive agriculture organized by Sasakawa Africa Association in Kampala.
Resources must be translated into action. We must continue investing in school feeding programs, nutrition, education, post-harvest management, climate change agriculture, and community-based nutrition interventions.
Participants noted that despite Uganda's vast agricultural potential, many households continue to face food insecurity, poor nutrition, and food contamination, particularly from aflatoxins.
So agricultural production without nutrition education does not automatically improve health. Likewise, nutrition messaging without access to diverse and nutritious foods will not achieve the desired outcomes.
The Sasakawa Africa Association, in partnership with other stakeholders, is promoting proper nutrition, safe food preservation, and improved post-harvest handling through nutrition model homes established across the country.
For us to be able to contribute to the NDP4 and all the other related policies, especially in this nation and also globally, we needed now to bring out the nutrition component seriously. And we can't do it alone as Sasakawa. Sasakawa, we can only do so much, but the partners are out there. There are so many partners that we think can now help us to deliver, to have our farmers benefit a lot from the nutrition messages that are coming from the different stakeholders.
The National Agriculture Research Organization showcased several innovations developed to improve nutrition and food security, including iron-rich and zinc-rich beans, black rice, and other nutrition-dense crops. Government has also developed a Ugandan strain of AfloSafe technology to reduce aflatoxin contamination in cereals, improve grain quality, boost exports, and increase farmers' income.
We are producing most of these foods because we want to enhance and reduce on the amount of micro and macronutrient deficiency, malnutrition, protein energy malnutrition, micronutrient deficiencies, because government has set up several programs where they have done fortification or enriching oil with vitamin A, wheat with folic acid, and others.
The improved crop varieties are expected to diversify household diets and address hidden hunger caused by deficiencies in essential nutrients. Komagum Rogers for UBC.
With iron.
Thank you, Rogers, for that report. Now, UBC Lunchtime News takes a short break. Don't move.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mumutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, enendungu yakusabula. Mikono juu, free of fire, free of fire, free of fire.
Makerere Institute for Social Development, a certified institution for higher learning, invites applicants for certificates and diploma courses like accounting and finance, procurement, journalism, tailoring and fashion design, with many other skills-tailored courses.
Our institution is compliant. First of all, it is recognized by National Council for Higher Education. We are certified. Registration number is UBB 187.
Tested and tried since 1995, Makerere Institute for Social Development is your solution when it comes to quality education.
You may apply for January, May, August intakes. Find us along Sir Apollo Kagwa Road, opposite Makerere University Sports Ground. Our tuition is affordable with a state-of-art facilities. Early birds stand a chance to grab themselves bursaries. MISD or Makerere Institute for Social Development, facilitating your career.
I'm called Awidi Isabella. I'm studying from Villa Maria School of Nursing. I've won a school fees with the MTN Momo. This school fees you win for a full year, which I'm very happy for it. I thank MTN Momo for helping me in paying my school fees.
We've paid all the fees for the year.
Thank you very much, because on Wednesday, the principal told me, look for my man and bring my man. I told her, me, I don't have man, and you have to wait until I get the money. But when I left our office, at 3, they called me that you have won the money from Momo. I said, how does it happen?
As long as you pay school fees using Momo, you stand a chance to win school fees for a year. Dial *165 *80# to win school fees for a year and more.
Hello.
Yes, mwami mukasa.
Mutyaneyo.
Yono broka.
Yenze broka wa mayumba.
Bangambye ne nyumba za mwenungiko.
Kituufu. Oyagala yabisenge bimeka?
Nga bisatu.
Ebbeeyi bagigambye?
Bangambye ssataano.
Nedda ssebo eno zaali nnyabuuko.
Lwaki?
Anti langi gye tusiigisa ya mulembe. Nti ne value y'ekitundu yalinnya.
Musiigisa ki?
Global Paints.
Mutya.
Ku ceiling tukozesa Global Mat. Ate munda ne tukozesa Global Silk Vinyl.
Singa kwetaga wabweru.
Wabweru tukozesa Global Weather Coat Emulsion.
Kusiiga gye musiiga. Ogwo omutindo ogusasulira essente zonna.
Guli wumite.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
Welcome back from that short break, and for those of you that just joined us, you are watching UBC Lunchtime News. Now, moving on, government has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening specialized health care by increasing funding to national health institutes and transforming them into centers of excellence. This comes as the Uganda Heart Institute inaugurated a new board of directors which will oversee the institute's next phase of growth.
Directors for the Uganda Heart Institute marks the beginning of a new 4-year term that will run from 2026 to 2030. Speaking at the inauguration, Minister of State for Health Hanifa Bangirana said government is making deliberate investments in specialized health institutions as part of efforts to improve healthcare services and reduce the burden of seeking treatment abroad.
That we are going to have the Uganda Heart Institute here as Center of Excellence to handle all of those other. You know what pains me, and that's what I'm going to go about. That there are issues which you would not, this over-congestion, and where they are blaming you people, they don't understand. Even on Monday we discussed it, that this issue should be handled at a regional level. And that's what the president is striving to.
The new body is chaired by Dr. James Magara, while Dr. John Omagino continues as the executive director. Dr. Omagino said construction of the institute's new facility in Naguru is now 60% complete and is expected to be finalized in the next financial year.
Thank and commend His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda for many things, but one of the issues is allocating us the 10 acres on DC Naguru and funding this project. As we talk, the money for the project can complete. There are a few gaps, funding gaps in equipment, but let us reach there. We have already prepared a submission which we shall be presenting, and the government can take a decision.
He said the institute remains focused on research, public awareness, prevention and treatment, while building on achievements registered under the outgoing board. Among the new board's priorities will be completing the new Heart Institute in Naguru by June 2027, overseeing the institute's successful transition to the new facility, and supporting the establishment of 4 regional heart centers to improve access to specialized cardiac services across the country.
Establishment of both the flagship Heart Institute facility in Naguru and 4 regional heart centers across the country. As the incoming board, the task before us is clear, and it is considerable as well. We will honor the achievements of the outgoing board and the work that has been done by all who went before us, especially the foundational work that was done by Uganda Heart Federation and the founders of the institute. We'll honor that work by carrying forward the zeal they have established, guided by the UHI vision and mission, the UHI Act Cap 258, and the UHI 5-year strategic plan 2025-26 to 2029-30.
Rebecca Nantongo, Mikey Bakabulindi for UBC News.
The immediate former Mitoma District Woman Member of Parliament, Juliet Agasha Bashisha, has outlined her vision for the East African Legislature Assembly, pledging to champion solutions to food insecurity, regional security, and deeper integration within East African community. If elected, she made the remarks after returning her nomination papers at the NRM Secretariat in Kampala to contest in the party's yearly by-election.
Made enough research. Even in East Africa, we usually go for games, and through the games and sports, we learn how to work as a united region. And now that we have the seat, actually, my President Museveni, is now the chair. It's going to give me a chance to work with him so that at least we strengthen and deepen the integration of East Africa. We still have some challenges, especially in security. Even sometimes you find a certain region is lacking something and another one. For example, food. In Uganda, we have enough food. You find, for example, in Western Uganda now, the matoke are ripening. But you go to another area, people are dying of hunger. So when I'm given this chance with my colleagues, we can see how to help each other to balance at least sometimes we balance where there is a challenge, we get some other people to help where necessary. Like in security, Uganda has been really doing well, supporting even different countries in making sure that countries are secure. So all those ones, when we work together as East Africa, and maybe where Uganda we are a bit lagging behind, especially with the original East African countries, is on Kiswahili language. That one is a bit of a challenge. In Uganda, some speak Swahili, but the majority don't. We can continue advocating for the Swahili language in secondary schools and primary school, so that by the end of 5 years, we all can communicate.
Now, a total of 139 pupils of St. Savio Junior School in Chisubi have received their first Holy Communion, while 228 candidates were confirmed into the Catholic faith during a colorful ceremony held at the school along Entebbe Road. The Mass was presided over by His Excellency Archbishop Augustine Kasuja, who urged the candidates to remain steadfast in their Catholic faith and grow into responsible citizens who work harmoniously with people of other religions for the good and development of the nation.
Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because He has anointed me and has sent me to proclaim the good news to the afflicted, the poor. This sacrament also, in which we receive the Holy Chrism, being anointed by Christ, is a sending out of every baptized Christian to go out, proclaim the good news, not the bad news or the sad news, but the good news, the news of hope, the news of joy, the news of love, and not hatred. This is also a mission for these young ones who are being confirmed today.
Almost 70 years ago, I got what all of you got. But what keeps it clean is that you adhere and understand the words given, particularly by the main celebrants. What they give you, what they gave you, or what they did mention is that never change religion. You the other one. Don't go on getting yourself don't go there. Remain around. The same being yourself is within the Catholic Church. And for all the students of Savio, thank you very much for being very good. Thank you very much for being honest and for being focused.
As the brothers celebrate their centenary celebrations this year, our theme is we remember, we celebrate, we live. Brother James has told these young men and women what to remember. The maid celebrant has told them what to remember. And I'm also telling you, always remember this day. The way you see it, the way you are celebrating it, always remember it. And remember that you are the Wakole over the centenary of the Brothers of Christian Instruction. We congratulate you.
Confirmation, where the Holy Spirit strengthened us. Profession of faith, where our body.
A very, very colorful function over there, and we welcome the new candidates to the Catholic faith. Now, moving on, government has been urged to take action against individuals who force who force children into marriage before they reach the legal age, with calls for such acts to be prosecuted due to their devastating impact on children's safety, education and future. The appeal was made by Commissioner Mondo Chateka from the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development while closing a two-day National Good School Symposium focused on ending violence against children, particularly in schools.
Witty Molly, teacher Witty Molly.
That the worst of the worst forms of child labor is finding a child in the labor ward.
not being produced, but producing yet another child. Let children be children. It's Franz Fanon in his book, The Wretched of the Earth, who says that shame is a revolutionary sentiment. That when we get ashamed about the situations we see, the situations that surround us, these situations must push us into action and be able to rid our society of such savagery. Anybody who makes a kid of 9 years, 13 years, that person is a murderer. Is a murderer, and that person should be charged as such.
Implementing together the child protection and safeguarding guidelines in the schools that we still developed together, and we are strengthening the referral, the RTRL guidelines. We are using child reference groups where we strengthen the children to speak up. We are promoting child participation through the child reference groups, which we have established in several schools, and children are able to speak up, to speak to their teachers, to speak to their administration, but also to the parents through the PTAs.
We need to advocate continuously to government to increase these budgets and look at issues of violence against children as a priority, because it is one of the areas that helps us to keep these children in schools.
We have Phoebe Kahunde, Sitan.
Now, in our business news this afternoon, coffee and cocoa farmers have been urged to embrace modern farming practices and strengthen cooperation through farmer organizations to improve productivity, quality, and incomes. The call was made during the Coffee Cocoa Farmers Cooperative Society annual general meeting held at the Uganda Coffee Development Authority headquarters in Kampala.
You use as a team, I request that you make use of COCOFA. Why? Because COCOFA is the one that can pronounce the primary requirement.
There a chance of getting a document. Think about it, you might need to give us something so that we attach it in our documents, and that will be a permanent relationship.
We are partnering with you in writing a successor project that can now maintain the acreage expanded. In terms of irrigation, in terms of machinery, in terms of we need a successor project.
In this AGM, we need to pass these accounts such that they are signed off and we are good to go on any other thing. If we defer, that will mean that we have to call for another AGM to pass the accounts. So I want to propose that we understand the background, why the management is not here, but we pass the accounts, and we make our savings statutory good to go.
We are looking at, of course, they are looking at food security as a priority, but they are trying to integrate in the commercial crop, and he has been lobbying at the higher level in the ministry and to His Excellency to see that these two commercial crops, coffee and cocoa, can be integrated. So we are trying to lobby and see. But the EU has been made aware. What the EU is now focusing on actually is removing the old stamps and trying to focus that we have new types of plants that help, and also research, because for them they are emphasizing the need to ensure that the yields that we have are becoming resistant, weather tolerant, and free from all resistant from pests and diseases. That's why they want to put their money, although Nakori also is overwhelmed.
We are encouraging all coffee farmers and cocoa farmers to work as a team. You may not join cocoa, but have some cooperative where you belong somewhere, so that we add value, we add quality. We look at the quality of our coffee. If you look at the coffee that has been harvested, try and get these green jays out of our coffee. Once this coffee leaves Uganda and it reaches Mombasa, it stops being Mutabazi's coffee. It becomes Uganda's coffee. So we need to look at quality. We need to know know what we're exporting. We need to know how important. We need to know that our
Are you an elite runner, fitness enthusiast, or adventure seeker? Get ready for a run in paradise at the Fort Portal City Marathon on July 18th, 2026. Experience the beauty, culture, and energy of Uganda's tourism city for only 60,000 Ugandan shillings. Register now at www.fortcitymarathon.com or dial *272*7#. Mwije tugende toro for a run in paradise in partnership with the Tourism Ministry, Capital Radio, Rock Telecom, Castle Light, Jeans Club, Kahive, and Toro Kingdom.
Moving on to our sports stories this afternoon, Makerere University has launched the 6th edition of the Makerere Marathon as part of the efforts to raise funds for students with disabilities. The university says the demand for disability support service continues to grow, making sustainable funding a key priority. Organizers are targeting at least 7,500 participants, with proceeds from the marathon going towards the Disability Support Unit. Vice-Chancellor Professor Barnabas Nwangwe says has called on Ugandans, corporate organizations and development partners to support the initiative by registering for the marathon and sponsoring the event.
The 6th run, which has evolved into actually a marathon. Originally it was a fun run. Now it's a marathon and very seriously taken up by all our runners in Uganda and even from other countries, so it's exciting times.
Let us all come together. This is the most successful, to be the most successful Makerere University Marathon yet. So let us run for education, let us run for freedom, let us run for some disabled, let us run for the disadvantaged, let us run for the future. So thank you for your participation and commitment to this wonderful cause, and I look forward to seeing you on the starting line on the 27th of September. Just like we say in NCDA, let us go for it.
Absa Bank Uganda has reaffirmed its commitment to Uganda's golfing community by injecting 185 million Uganda shillings in the Absa Chairman's Bell tournament for the 8th consecutive time. The tournament will include over 300 golfers from the country with the introduction of the Caddies game, Gross Amateurs and the Professionals series.
Internships, celebrating excellence, and helping people become who they really want to be. We believe that your story matters, and in supporting these sportsmen, in supporting them who are participating and competing, we're enabling those who are stars to come out. We have in the past actually celebrated and sponsored individual players for certain tournaments. For the Uganda upcoming Open, we also do sponsor the Pro-Am as a segue or an entrance into the Magical Kenya Open that happens in February or March in Nairobi as part of the Sunshine Tour. And golf stands out as a powerful space for building relationships, nurturing discipline, and unlocking opportunity and driving community impact. This is why our partnership with Uganda Golf Club has remained strong and purposeful over the years. This year's edition is particularly exciting, obviously because we know that in addition to the highly competitive tournament where there are professionals, gross amateurs and a large field of amateurs, there is also the introduction of the Caddies tournament. I'm sure it's going to cause some excitement and a spring in the step when they are carrying bags. This is why it's an important step for us in recognizing the vital role of Caddies.
The Caddies tournament, the professionals tournament, and then the gross amateurs will probably have an average of about 30 players each. That speaks to about 90 players. Then you have the main event, which is the amateur subsidiary, which will be played on the 18th, which will attract in excess of 200 golfers. So we're looking at about 300 golfers over the entire week, and that's a really big tournament. So again, I can't overemphasize the fact that we're really grateful for the generosity of Upside Bank Uganda, and also the commitment they've shown over the 8 years, but also what it means in terms of how much commitment they've shown with the increasing the generosity speaks to the size of the kitty for the.
And now that brings us to the end of UBC Lunchtime News. We are so glad you've been part of us this afternoon. My name is Jane Nyiramodsha. Good afternoon.